Hello, brother.
Hello, sister.
Today I am back to do the most important job in the world, ranking fictional characters from a supernatural book to TV adaptation that aired 10 years ago. Someone's gonna do it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Ali and today we are ranking every single character on the Vampire Diaries. Feel free to guess in the comments before you watch this whether I am Team Stefan or Team Damon. Essentially at this point, the amount of time that I've put into 2000s teen dramas, I essentially have my PhD. That is how it works. So we do discuss it on my channel a lot. I have ranked 2000s teen shows, every Pretty Little Liars character. Today, obviously, we are tackling our friends from Mystic Falls. And hey, 5,000 likes on this video and I will do One Tree Hill. I have only seen the Vampire Diaries, so today these rankings will be coming from the canon of that. I haven't seen Legacies or the originals, so if you have an opinion that's like, oh, that person is actually way better or way worse, but is informed by those shows, I obviously won't know about it. So if possible, I would love if you could keep these comments spoiler free for me, because I'm very excited to hopefully go on and continue watching those. And finally, if you are new here, hi, I'm Ali. It is so nice to meet you. I'm a nostalgic little bitch that loves 2000s teen dramas, and the Vampire Diaries is no exception. So if you like the Vampire Diaries or tier rankings or Taylor Swift for that matter, you should hang around and hit the subscribe button down below. Give this video a like if you would like to see more from me, and let's get into my tiers. So at the top, as always, we have God tier. These are simply the best of the best. I would stake myself through the heart for these characters. Then we have epic. Kind of self-explanatory, not quite God tier, but iconic. Like an appropriately timed The Fray or Ron Pope needle drop.
Please rise for our national anthem.
It's just a drop in the ocean.
Then we have a bourbon. You're not quite on those top two tiers, but like I would have a drink with you, or at least I think you deserve one. Then memory loss spell. Call me Elena or Stefan because my memory of this person has been wiped. Then we have the prison world. These characters need to be put away.
Right to jail, right away.
And finally, we have hell. Some of you won't remember this because I know you skipped season 7 and 8 on your rewatch, and I will be doing the same thing, no judgment there. But we do in fact meet the devil and include hell. So these characters should burn for all eternity. And on that note, let's get into it. First up, we have Miss Bonnie Bennett. This is a girl in STEM. The M in STEM stands for magic.
I'm the one you want. It's me. It's me.
Fun fact, Maisie Peters actually wrote The Good Witch about Bonnie Bennett. This girl injured her back carrying the entire show, carrying her friend group, all 8 seasons.
You guys are in a crisis. I'm on my way.
It is bad enough when shows have like a token black friend. Not only was Bonnie the token black friend, she was the token witch friend. Every single problem these guys had, Bonnie had to fix.
I talked to Bonnie. There might be something she can do to help.
Hoping you can help me with something.
You came here because you needed something.
We have to find Bonnie. Bonnie can fix it!
I need you to do that for me.
I can't do that kind of magic anymore.
Who are we missing? Where's Stefan?
I never got to say thank you
For what?
for saving Stefan and bringing back Lark and Tyler.
Wait a damn minute.
And while she was cleaning up every other person's messes, I don't think Bonnie had a single flop moment. And if she did, I'm sure I could find an excuse for why she had to do it. I could go on and on about how much Bonnie deserved better, but I feel like if you're watching this, you already know. This show did not give her a happy ending, but I will. Miss Bonnie Bennett, God tier for Miss Fesmatos. By the way, do you guys like my Elena outfit today? My beautiful necklace here. Psych! I'm Katherine Pierce, dressed as Elena.
But your pretty little outfit is gonna need a good dry clean.
You never know what might happen. You never know who I might be.
It's getting really easy being you.
This is why if I lived in Mystic Falls, I am taking vervain every single day, drinking it in my coffee every morning. I will have a vervain coffee enema if I need to. You're not getting me. Thankfully, I don't need to do that because I'm protected by Surfshark VPN. One of our channel's favorite sponsors, Surfshark keeps you safe online whilst browsing the web by doing a cloaking spell that changes your digital IP address. This is what inspired the Gemini Coven to learn how to invisiquate. They knew that hackers can very easily steal all of your personal data when you are using public Wi-Fi, and Surfshark protects you from that. I love to travel and I'm constantly using airplane Wi-Fi or working in cafes, so this has been very, very helpful for me. Additionally, the most fun use of Surfshark in my daily life is that it gives you access to hundreds of countries' streaming services. Remember when I was visiting Twilight locations in Washington, needed to watch Twilight, but American Netflix didn't have it? Surfshark saved me. If the Vampire Diaries isn't available to watch in your location, you can use Surfshark. Just do a location spell and change your location in Surfshark to a country that has it. Plus, you can use just one account on every device you own. Phone, iPad, computer, go for it. Nobody should have to live in a world without their favorite teen dramas, so go to surfshark.com/Shein or scan this code for an extra 4 months of Surfshark free. Thanks again, Surfshark, for sponsoring this part of the video, and that's what you missed on Glee. Let's get back to it. Next up, we have poor Miss Sheila Bennett.
You got some nerve knocking on a Bennett witch's door and asking her for anything.
Step outside and say that.
If a man talks shit, then I owe him nothing. I don't regret it one bit, cause he had it coming.
The absolute bullshit that Grams had to put up with. I'm sure she lived a very long, full life before we, the viewers, get to meet her, but as soon as Stefan and Damon come to town, everything turned to shit for her. I'm so sorry, Grams.
I'll open the tomb.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Grams, have a bourbon. Lord knows you've earned it. Then we have Emily Bennett, aka Miss Maya St. Germain. I will say the scariest moment of the entire show for me is when we see her in the mirror when she's like in Bonnie.
Everything's fine.
Guys, sometimes this show is really scary. Yet again, another girlie that deserved better. Honestly, Bianca Lawson deserves better in everything I see her in. Once again, have a bourbon. Then we have Miss Elena Gilbert. So I have seen enough online to know the people do not really like Elena. I get it, but I also don't. I think she's a very brave girlie. She stabbed herself in the stomach to protect her loved ones. As a human, maybe I should differentiate. I love human Elena. Vampire Elena, a little bit less so. I feel like the main complaint I hear from people is she was so self-centered. She thought everything was about her. Firstly, she's the main character, it's gonna be. But then when everything wasn't about her and she was gone from the show, look how that turned out. When it was no longer about her, the show sucked. So I feel, like it or not, we needed Elena. She kept the show very grounded. I think Elena and her like humanity and compassion is part of the reason that Matt kind of stayed connected to the group for as long as he did. Once she was gone, well, we know what happens there. Sorry, but like if your parents die when you're a teenager and then you find out you're adopted and then those birth parents also die.
Well, it's been a great day today. Can't wait for more!
You're allowed to be annoying. I give you full permission to be as annoying as you want to be and self-centered and selfish, really. Like if that happened to my friend, she has at least 3 years of being self-obsessed and annoying. Elena is so resilient and I love that about her. Also, my God, Nina's acting. At the start of the show, I didn't love her. By the time Jeremy dies and she burns down her house.
I can't make it stop. Please make it stop. It hurts.
I was very angry at her for burning down the house, but Nina's acting, I just know that when she applies for roles, rather than showing like a full show reel of clips from different things, she shows them that scene. She's like, here you go, I did that. But oh my God, she lost her last remaining relative in that moment.
The people that I love that have died. My mom, my dad, Jeremy and Jenna, Alaric, John, everyone is dead.
Losing my last remaining close family relative is my biggest fear in the world, and that came true for Elena. I don't know how she got through it. Well, she turned off her humanity, that's how. So I know people hate her for being like self-obsessed or whatever. That's fine. To me, the thing I hated was those damn red streaks.
My New Year's resolution is to convince myself to get a new hairstyle. Like I'm sick of this hair. Like I just need something new.
I don't know. I like a little edge and a little pop in my hair, so I wanted to add something different, especially for the founders party.
She really is so Aria Montgomery coded at the end of the day, and you can take that however you want to take it. I guess she kind of also ends up with someone a little bit too old for her, so if the shoe fits. Elena Gilbert, I think maybe no one has ever needed a bourbon more. She really fits in that middle tier for me. I like her. I think I like her more than most people, but I can't say I love her. And then we have Miss Katherine Pierce.
The myth. The legend. The baddest bitch of all.
The only woman to ever. Really.
My husband, he's been hurt. Please help him.
Doing out here in the middle of the night. It's not safe.
No, sir. It's not safe.
Oh, call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me.
This woman had the devil himself wrapped around her finger. And you know what? We can't blame him.
Why did you think he wanted you? Because I wanted you. Duh.
pretty legendary if you ask me.
The master of the underworld bows down to this woman, and so do I. I also bow down so heavily to Nina Dobrev. I can't even express how I would forget at times that it was the same actress because of how well she played the roles so differently. Whether it is Katherine pretending to be Elena, Elena pretending to be Katherine and not doing a very good job at it, like the psychology of getting into these roles, Nina Dobrev, Emmy, when?
Undeniably talented.
Truly the most multi-dimensional portrayal of two different roles since Lindsay Lohan in the Parent Trap remake, and I don't just say that for anyone. Katherine is just by far one of the most compelling villains of all time for me across any different show. She is definitely my favorite female villain, I will say. God, I love her. I want to be her. Katherine also had by far the best introduction of anyone on this show.
You should probably come inside.
Hello, John. Goodbye, John.
There's just something I have to respect about a woman who never has flat hair or flat shoes, because both of those things aren't me. I wish we could have got more of a redemption arc so she could have been saved and not had to die at the end, but in my world, that's God tier, baby. Katherine, I love you. Oh my God, then we have Jenna Summers. This is a death I was not prepared for. I didn't think it would happen. It shouldn't have happened. And in the finale, when Elena reunites with her family, I did not really care about Miranda or Grayson, but Jenna. I'm actually getting emotional thinking about her little I just love her so much. If you guys watched the show as a kid, she probably felt so old, but now having watched this as a grown-up, she did such a good job. She lost her sister and then had to take care of two teenagers, and she was only in her early to mid-20s. I will say though, for a girl this beautiful and this smart, she had the worst taste in men. Firstly, Logan Fell and John Gilbert.
Why does she hate you?
We used to sleep together.
I'm standing right here.
At least Alaric I understand, but girl, what? Jenna, girl, you deserve so much better. Jenna is epic to me. I love her so much. I love her more than Elena, I guess. Yeah, I do. Then we have Jeremy. I have to confess, I am a Jeremy is hot truther.
You think I'm hot? You mean you can cheat?
Or I could pants you in front of the entire women's volleyball team.
Doubt they'd mind.
There's just something about him.
Something about you makes me feel like a dangerous woman.
And maybe worse than that, I liked him and Bonnie together. I shipped that way before it ever happened. And so when it finally did, I was very happy.
I'm not a kid anymore, buddy.
What can I say? I like her, I like him, I like when my people are happy. I think they were very cute. And I don't know if you guys saw my 2023 favorites video, but I talked about how when, the episode when Jeremy died, I knew it was gonna happen because he was finally so happy, and they were showing him in a way that was the montage of a dead wife at the beginning of a movie. It was look at these great happy Jeremy Gilbert moments that he's having. And I'm oh, he's dead. Let this be a warning to you. Anytime a TV show lets everything go right for a character, especially if they've been struggling for a while, as soon as they're happy, they're gonna die. But unfortunately, I just love him, and so he's going in epic. Go hang out with Jenna. I'm sad we didn't get to see more of his story after Elena went to her big sleep. I'm gonna say something controversial yet brave. I would have watched a Jeremy spinoff, a Jeremy Tyler New Mexico spinoff. I feel like I can feel everyone judging me for that. Then we have John Gilbert, Uncle John. Is that not one of the most punchable faces you've ever seen? Watching the show, he just reminded me so much of Jaime from Broad City. To me, they just have the same face, and I found that so distracting. He was incredibly annoying.
Name's John, but I call him Jackass.
Can't you at least pretend that you're happy to see me?
Oh my God, John, it is so good to see you. How have you been? No, I can't.
But ultimately did give his life for his daughter. We love to see it. John, I don't like you enough to give you a bourbon. I don't want to put you in the prison world, so I will happily forget about you. You can have a memory loss spell. Then we have Isabel. I desperately want to stan her, but she is kind of hateful. I do have to laugh at the fact that she just faked her death to leave her husband so she could hang out with vampires and be a vampire.
You were supposed to mourn me and move on.
You're my wife.
And I feel like people watching this show growing up would be yeah, I would do the same thing if I found out vampires were real. I would ditch my life to go be part of that.
I think it's time to let this vampire crap go. It's become an obsession.
Well, this is important to me, Rick.
Why? Why is it so important? I mean, make me understand.
I do feel like her character was a little bit disappointing, only because it never got really fleshed out. She wasn't like fully evil, but never either like a great mother figure or anything. You're not my fave. Isabel, you can go to the prison world. Then we have Maddie Blue Eyes.
Why didn't you audition for Matt Donovan? I don't know, maybe because I'm not a complete and total loser?
This man might as well be an original vampire because he is immortal.
Michael is gone. Tupac is gone. Prince is gone. Whitney is gone. Amy Winehouse is gone. David Bowie is gone. But I'm still standing.
Matt to me really feels like the Vanessa Abrams from Gossip Girl of this show, and that is not a compliment. Vanessa is like morally woke, wants to do the right thing, and like, you know, especially compared to all of the uber wealthy characters on the show who are kind of like morally bankrupt a lot of the time. Because those are our protagonists, she just comes off as annoying. Unfortunately, Matt suffers the same fate. Like, is murder wrong? Yeah, sure.
You went after my friends, what'd you expect?
Your friends who kill people.
But unfortunately, Matt, these are your friends, and we the viewers love them and are rooting for them. Therefore, if you go against them, we have no choice but to root for your downfall. One thing that Matt has going for him, once he decided he didn't want any part of vampirism, he stood by that. Whereas I feel like Vanessa kind of enjoyed the benefits of the high life, you know? If she was invited somewhere by Nate or Dan, she would take that opportunity. I do feel sorry for him because his ex-girlfriend, who like he grew up with, I assume has been like his best friend his whole life. After first dumping him, she then went on to have 2 epic love affairs with the 2 men that murdered his sister. That's pretty bad. Honestly, it is a miracle that Matt was not radicalized way sooner against vampires. Trip Fell was really his downfall in the end. His downfell, if you will. It's also kind of like a Skylar White Breaking Bad situation. Like, the protagonist is doing something wrong. We can admit that, but this character that's like calling them out on it just feels annoying. I will say, I love that Matt is like all about moral righteousness and doing the right thing. Yet when he murders his girlfriend, do you think he turned himself in? Or even turned in his badge? Absolutely not. He was like, I will have a promotion, thank you very much. I actually laughed out loud when it's revealed that he had killed Penny, because at that point I was so done with him. I was so sick of his shit that I found it so funny. The fact that he was trying to blame Stefan and Stefan was like, dude, I'm trying to help you. Like, you don't want to know this? I simply have to laugh.
It's my fault. I killed her.
Yep, sure did.
And sorry, but you cannot ask Stefan to heal her, and then when it's too late for him to do that, say, well, fuck vampires. Like, I hate you guys anyway. Is really giving a man who asks a woman out, and when she says no, he's like, well, you're fat and I don't want you anyway. The fact that Matt pulled Elena, Caroline, Rebecca, Nadia, probably more, is astounding to me. Also, I have to say, I had a very good first impression of Matt, because in Friday Night Bites, when Stefan joins the football team, and Tyler, for kind of no reason, but I guess he had his aggression problems, was like, yo, that's Elena's like new boyfriend, we should hate him.
She made her choice.
Let her know she made the wrong one.
Ty, don't. Ty, don't. Ty.
I feel like the expectation, or like the normal reaction for her very recent ex, would be to feel jealous and to hate Stefan and to be like unkind and unwelcoming towards him, especially when his best friend Tyler is like very much doing that and encouraging it. Matt goes out of his way to welcome Stefan, and I was like, that is a really stand-up guy.
Hey, I'm Matt. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Stefan.
She's big on trust, so whatever you're holding back from her, the more you try to hide it, the more she won't stop till she figures it out.
That is a very mature teenage boy. I like him. And did that last the whole time? No, but early seasons, I thought he was pretty good. Up until the double date with Caroline, I was rooting for you, Matt. We were all rooting for you. Never in my life have I yelled at a girl like this. Also, sorry, why of all things did you decide I need to be a cop in a town where nobody lives? You could have done anything. You could have left. As much as I would love to put Matt in hell, I simply can't, only because he just was never really given like a fair shot at life. I know that like kind of anyone could say that, but I will give him some points for the fact that he just never stood a chance.
There you are, wasted at the bar where I work to pay the bills that you don't pay. And then you're off acting like a freaking kid, hooking up with some guy half your age. I'm the kid, Mom. You're supposed to be responsible for me.
Dear
Matt Donovan,
I'm so sorry that I was not your mother.
His dad abandoned him. His mum was like an alcoholic who ignored him, forced to like raise his sister and provide for them. And then his sister was murdered. I feel bad for him.
And I work like a dog day and night, living off of coffee from a pot none of you want to touch.
So Matt, you're not going to go to hell, but you will of course still be going to the prison world. Bye-bye. Okay, Kelly Donovan, kind of a hot mess mum. Didn't she also hook up with a teenager on the OC? I wonder how this actress feels. I have to imagine Matt and Tyler have been friends like since childhood. Again, Kelly Donovan, I will say I was very gagged when she came back for the last 2 episodes. That was very fun.
Finally get to tell my little brother.
I'll take it from here, gorgeous. He and I made out once. Super hot. Too bad your mother's dead. Maybe if you hadn't tried to cure cancer, she might have lived to see this.
I don't trust her. I don't think she's a good person. I believe she's somewhere living with deep, deep regret. And that's okay.
However, you did abandon your kids and you will be going to the prison world. I'm so sorry. Vicky Donovan, poor Vicky Donovan, ended up in hell. And for what? Smoking weed. Again, the poor thing just never had a chance. Wow, what an insane face card. Vicky is absolutely stunning. Vicky Donovan, you can have a bourbon, sweetie. Lord knows you need it. I know you usually prefer the green stuff, but let's get you something a little bit stronger. Then we have Tyler.
Thanks for dating.
So does my mother.
What?
We're together all the time. It's not a leap.
That's crazy.
Right?
Look, the first time we meet Tyler, he is physically forcing himself on Vicky.
No. I said no. I said no! Ow! That hurt.
Vicky Donovan says no. That's a first.
Very Chuck Bass in the pilot of Gossip Girl again, and like I found that very hard to get past. However, when it comes to Tyler, I will say I really respect the fact that he willingly and repeatedly broke every single bone in his body to be able to be with Caroline. Like, yeah, exactly as you should. If your man isn't willing to go through excruciating pain, snapping the bones in his body every single night just for a chance to take you to the grill for a club sandwich, he's not worthy.
How was it? You know, compared to Tyler. Now that you've slept with Klaus, I mean, how was it?
Klaus killed thousands of people. Elena's aunt, an entire pack of hybrids, my friends. He killed my mom. Klaus put me through hell in New Orleans, Matt. He crushed me. And just when I thought it was over, that he couldn't destroy anything else or do anything worse,
I honestly came to love Tyler. I thought he and Caroline had a fun dynamic.
What if my mom found out?
so what?
She can't.
So it runs on your dad's side of the family?
No, it does.
If your mom doesn't know you're a vampire, and you're the only vampire in town, I just assumed it ran on your father's side of the family. That's the way it is for me.
The Psy bond, that was annoying. But as far as Tyler goes, I don't want to put you in the prison world, but you did sexually assault Vicky. Yeah, sorry, bud. Then we have Carol Lockwood, kind of a girl boss. Not my girl boss, she's coming up later on this list, but a girl boss nonetheless. Was she rich and mean and judgmental? Yes. I don't have a but for that. Well, you know what? No, she did not deserve to be drowned in the town fountain. That was a bit far, Klaus.
I tried to scream, but my head was underwater.
I'm gonna give Carol Lockwood a bourbon. I liked her. I really liked the whole Founders Council thing. Mayor Lockwood, however.
Do I look like a student?
No. You look like a full-grown alpha male douchebag.
Wasn't he literally beating his son?
Remember how your dad used to slap you around?
We don't fight in there. Like pansies. We take it outside. Fight your battles like men. That's a lesson my dad taught me. I said fight!
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You can go to hell. That is a member of the Bad Dad Club, which we will have a lot of those coming up. It is kind of funny that he never knew he was a werewolf. Like he just straight up died. Okay, then we have Mason Lockwood. From the second this man stepped on the screen, came to town, I said that is a wolf. I don't even know if we knew about werewolves yet at this point. Some people have gaydar, I have wolfdar. His jokes with Damon at that dinner party, just phenomenal.
Hound dog.
Dances with wolves. I apologize, I'm an animal.
Huh, I always pegged you for a lone wolf.
Oh, I'm sure I wasn't half the lady killer you were.
You, my friend, were barking up the wrong tree.
Good one.
He was giving such hot Uncle Cooper energy from One Tree Hill. Like it's the younger brother that kind of has a relationship with the Nathan/Tyler character. So I just ate that right up like a little wolf. Personally, I would love to have a bourbon with Mason Lockwood. I would lock his wood. Oh, then we have Anna. I loved her and Jeremy's little like emo relationship, and I was sad when she died in the basement fire. She really said, don't put me in the basement. And I also just loved her relationship with her mum. Like Pearl was everything. Pearl's not on this list, but I'm putting Anna and Pearl collectively into epic. Then we have Meredith Fell. Unfortunately for Meredith, I have seen Pretty Little Liars and One Tree Hill, so I am trained within my blood to never trust this face.
I don't need to be depressed and fat.
How many people were scared? Me too. I was really, really scared.
And like, it did take me most of her run on the show to like finally trust that she was a good person. If you know, you know. The fact that she's like the reason Elena became a vampire, terrifying. That face creeps me out too much. Memory loss spell by Meredith. I am so intrigued by the Fell family because they're all kind of a bit like weird. Like Logan, Trip, Meredith. What's the girl we meet at the Miss Mystic Falls towards the end? Like the Fell family is just like, whenever they want someone to be a founding family member that isn't like our beloved main cast, they're like, let them be a Fell, whatever, who cares about them. Speaking of founding families, then we have Miss Caroline Forbes. This is my vampire Barbie. And like, I love her in the same way that I love Nathan Scott. Like in the first episodes, are they a little bit entitled and rude? Yes.
And I'm supposed to care why? Lesbian friend necklace? This is boring. I'm bored.
But the character development is just chef's kiss. And really, she is just very Brooke Davis coded, like a popular, kind of ditzy, kind of mean girl with a heart of gold. And I simply will eat that up every single time. She does have some fat shaming moments, some judgmental moments.
Let's skip these garlands on the tree before they end up on your hips. He's a washed up jock who pours drinks for a living.
But once Caroline becomes a vampire, she quickly became like just my favorite girly.
I have a message from Katherine. She said, game on.
Wait.
She's really good.
Just goes to show sometimes being smothered to death is a good thing. Miss Caroline Forbes, right on up to God tier. Congratulations. And then what a fall from grace, we have Bill Forbes.
So, Bill, I hear you're into the whole daddy-daughter vampire torture thing.
I was trying to help her.
I'm not homophobic, but I am a hater. This man, definition of get a job, stay away from her.
When Carol Lockwood called and told me about you, I sat down and cried.
I don't need to be fixed. Why are you trying to fix me?
So I don't have to kill you.
Any tongue or hand that may rise against Caroline Forbes shall fall. I actually really loved the kind of metaphor of Bill Forbes hating vampires as kind of an allegory for homophobia, and he was essentially giving Caroline conversion therapy.
Your parents and your friends want to have a conversation with you. I myself was once a gay. Now I'm an ex-gay, Megan.
I'm sorry.
I'm conditioning you to associate vampirism with pain.
Daddy, you can't change who I am.
Yes, I can. No. You remember this feeling?
Oh, no.
You go get a damn job.
Yeah.
You bad, bad dad. Bill Forbes, go to hell. You hurt Caroline. What do you expect? Next up, my girl, Miss Liz Forbes.
Down, good Lord. Baby got 'em open all over town.
I'm okay. I'm actually not okay. I have simply never loved a character more in my life. ACAB does not count for Charlie Swan, Paul Blart, or my girl Liz Forbes. The Founders Council storylines were just so fun to me. Like having these people think they knew the answers, sometimes they would, but having that friendship between Liz and Damon, having him like kind of on the inside was so special to me. The fact that they formed like a real genuine bond.
Damon and I can take it from here.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible sheriff because one of my best friends is the perp in half my open cases.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to spend much time with my mom before she died.
I was so sad when she found out about them being vampires because I was like, I don't want this to end, this like beautiful chapter. As you guys probably know, if you've seen my Instagram story highlights from when I was watching the show, I was a mess when she died because it wasn't a supernatural death, which meant it just hit even harder.
I lived a good life. I took care of my family. It just...
I didn't get to say goodbye to my mom.
Don't let go. I'm not ready.
I cried so hard when she died that I burst a blood vessel in my eyeball. I have not been that devastated since that episode of One Tree Hill. This is my equivalent of that. When Liz Forbes died, I died too. I feel like I need to go and watch something else with this actress in it. I need to know that she's okay because I love her so much. Yeah, Liz Forbes, absolute god tier. I'm putting her at the front because she is my favorite. And those 4 women right there, that is my Mount Rushmore.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information.
Perfection. Then we have Damon Salvatore.
I know you're obsessed with me.
Wow, what a photo. They really saw Ian Somerhalder smolder and said, we have our guy. I kind of want to go and watch Lost now just for him, but Damon. By the way, I will talk about Damon and Stefan here and like rank them. And then after all of the rankings, I'll talk about like who I think Elena is better with or who I would want to be with, just in case people don't care about that. But for now, Damon, this show would obviously be nothing without Damon. He's also kind of the Brooke Davis in that like the show needed someone less serious, comedic relief, just hot and fun really. I just know Ian Somerhalder had so much fun playing this role because he's the funniest person we have. This man truly just the meaning of the word down bad. I have to respect how much he cared for Katherine, even if it is quite sad.
Was my love not enough?
No, don't take her. She's
not here.
She knew where you were, Damon. She didn't care.
Forget the last 145 years I've been missing you.
The truth is, I've never left you.
But he's also just so reactionary. Like when Elena didn't want to be with him because, hello, she had a boyfriend and it was his brother, his response was to kill Jeremy.
David, don't. What's wrong with you? Stop it. No.
Elena, what's going on in here?
No, David, stop it.
All you have to do is flip the switch and snap.
David, no!
Once again, when Katherine, pretending to be Elena, says she doesn't want to be with him, doesn't he then go and kill Elena's only friend at college, Aaron Whitmore?
I thought you broke my heart, so I rip open Aaron's neck. That is how much control you have over me.
Who she had like bonded with over the grief of losing their parents, who he had also killed, by the way. Unfortunately, Damon's biggest crimes were that he sexually assaulted my girl Caroline and murdered my other girl, Lexi. I actually cannot believe that he robbed me of more Lexi screen time. That is so sad and unforgivable. He also killed Tyler, but I don't really care that much about that. And finally, he was also, much like our beloved Jasper Whitlock, a Confederate soldier.
Boo, tomato.
I actually don't know how Elena woke up after her coma, found out Damon had murdered her like longtime friend Tyler, and was like, oh well, okay.
Huh? What? Oh. Okay.
Damon has said this in the show, but he would often make the decisions everyone else was kind of too scared to make. But he was like, sorry, I know this needs to happen. I'll be the bad guy. Let me do it. Damon Salvatore, I cannot deny it. You are epic, my friend. And then we have, of course, Stefan, the Ripper of Monterey.
Come on, Damon. You think I'm afraid of a ripper? Who do you think invented the word?
They say I did something bad. It wasn't feel so good.
Speaking of that, something about Stefan that always bothered me, when both brothers would like be on a killing spree or have their humanity off, Damon never discriminated when it came to his victims, right? It was kind of not about that. Whereas Stefan seemed to target young women, like seemed to target girls. What is that about, Stefan?
Who wants to die next?
Hey, Andy, you can move now.
No.
Sickening. Absolutely sickening. I am going to report you right now.
You know how they say like drunk words are sober thoughts? Are Ripper actions sober desires? But I will say the fact that Stefan would like place their heads back on afterwards, that is just so funny. And while I'm talking about the worst thing that each of the brothers did, Stefan, dumb bitch Salvatore, burned Liz Forbes' letter for Caroline.
This letter from your mom arrived at our dorm just a few days after her funeral.
I said burn it.
No!
Sorry, Elena. But if you want us back, you're gonna have to try a lot harder than that.
You dumb fucking bitch!
I don't know how Caroline got over that because I still have not. As someone that lost a parent young to cancer, if I learned that a letter existed from that parent, like writing to me in preparation for their death, all of these things they wish they wanted to say, and my friend slash future husband chose to burn it when he was of sound mind you, unforgivable. Simply be smarter than that. How hard would it be? Look, let me role play. Elena gives him the note. He tries to give it. He gives it to Caroline. Doesn't work. She says burn it. Here's what we do. Let me pretend this deodorant is the note. You look at it, you go, nice try, Elena. Throw it to her. Get it out of the room safely, okay? Like nothing else matters more than that. Also, speeding Elena in the car to the spot where her parents lost their lives. Was his humanity on or off at that point? I feel like it was on and he was just being a little bitch. It was kind of beautiful watching Stefan and Elena not heal each other, but like he definitely was what Elena needed at the time. The fact that she felt so safe with him, so loved after so much grief. I was very happy for her to have found him. So Stefan, I hate you, but I still love you. And you are, of course, epic. The word epic is so cringe, but this show makes it work. Speaking of that beautiful face, next we have Silas.
I'm unkillable, I'm immortal, and I'm psychic, and to function, I need human blood. But don't ever call me a vampire.
I very much appreciate that they took the prettiest man on this show, took the one thing he was lacking, which was like being funny, and made Silas. Silas, I think I have to put in epic. I really liked him as a villain. And I think most of all, I just love watching Paul Wesley play him because you can just tell again, he's having so much fun. Then we have Ketsia, who was kind of a petty queen. Oh man, she would love the unreleased Taylor Swift song, Drama Queen.
I'm a little over it, and she's still not me.
Truly the definition of never getting over anything ever, and for that I kind of have to stand. That said, I don't really care about her. Like I didn't want her to stay longer than she did, so I'm gonna put her in memory loss spell. And you know what? That might be good for her to have. Cleanse her of all of her heartbreak and she can finally let go. And on that note we have Amara. Alexa, play Because I Liked a Boy by Sabrina Carpenter. This girl's only crime was loving someone. What was her sin? Loving a beautiful man? Were they fated to be together? I still don't really understand the whole doppelgangers thing. I guess these guys weren't doppelgangers because they were the original version. Anyway, once again, give Nina Dobrev a million Emmys. Her portrayal, especially when all three women were in one scene, phenomenal. I'm gonna put Amara with memory loss spell because I just don't really care about her that much, but you know, she served her purpose. Oh, suddenly the most grating voice. Then we have Giuseppe Salvatore. Clap if you think he should suffer. Giuseppe Salvatore, go to hell. The Bad Dad Club. You founded the Bad Dad Club in like 18 whatever the fuck, whenever you were born. Burnt his son, made his son eat his own rabbit, killed his sons, but it's fine, they killed him right back. So I guess what I would say is burn in hell. And then on that note, we have Lily Salvatore. This photo is really giving Grunwald. Lily Salvatore has the worst taste in men out of anyone I've ever known, and that is saying something knowing some of my friends. To go from Giuseppe Salvatore to then picking Julian? I understand leaving Giuseppe, but you left your kids with him and then you picked Julian? Lily, I will say I love this actress. She did such a good job and is so beautiful. But the amount of times she would say my family in front of Stefan and Damon, knowing full well she abandoned them and is just talking about these random new people.
Girl, fuck them kids and fuck you too.
She reminds me of Carmen's dad in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, who's like, I just only really care about my new family now. Sorry. Not only did she mess up her sons, Stefan and Damon, big time, she also, I think, gave Enzo some mummy issues.
Looking for the self-help section. Seems I've developed feelings for someone with terrible taste, and yet I can't seem to shake her.
Lily. Look, by the end she came around, but she kind of annoyed me. I'm putting her in the prison world. She started there, just go back where you came. Oh, I've just seen his face. Even this photo makes me angry. Then we have Julian. The way that he's doing this like come here thing, it just reminds me of when gross men are like, Julian killed a baby for starters, and worse than that, he was annoying. I actually feel not even angry, but more like embarrassed by his existence.
Bravery is knowing you're going to lose, doing it anyway. Well, let's get on with it. Choose your weapon.
Julian was kind of like a stand-in father figure for the heretics. And if there's one thing this show said is that dads suck. There are no good father figures here. Caroline's dad was homophobic. Elena's dad was like torturing vampires. If Julian were alive today, he would have a podcast on how to be like an alpha male. And that alone, go to hell. I really just think these men deserve to like be on their own and think about what they've done. Then we have Beau. Oh, he deserved so much better. Beau was just a perfect example of what men should be, which is handsome and quiet. Beau, you can have a bourbon. He also sang really well. Oh my gosh, then we have Miss Nora.
Be more vain. Oh, if you're pretty, you be too.
Ugly girl can never come for a pretty girl.
I could not believe my eyes when Miss Pansy Parkinson appeared on my screen. And like, honestly, bonus points because I think she is the most beautiful person in the Vampire Diaries world, which is saying a lot for a CW show. Congrats, Nora. Also, I cannot tell you how much I shipped Nora and Bonnie. It looked like they were gonna kiss, and when they didn't, I was like, wait, but what if?
Do you like her? Bonnie? And what if I did? She's beautiful, smart.
You guys already know from my previous video on Vampire Diaries how I feel about Nora and Mary Louise's relationship, and I just think like a moment with Bonnie could have been so interesting for her. Besides being pretty, she didn't really do enough to be like epic, so Nora, you can have a bourbon. And then there's Mary Louise. Oh, honestly, all of the heretics are like getting the Michelson family on Temu. They were trying to do something and it just wasn't right. Like they had this dynamic and they're like, let's recreate that. And it was just cheap and I didn't like it. Mary Louise, let me just ask this. Did she ever slay? No, I don't think so. Mary Louise, you pissed me off real bad. Go to the prison world. I hate you. And then we have Valerie. I have said it before and I will say it again. The only thing worse than being evil is being annoying. And Miss Valerie Tull has that in spades. I think unfortunately for her, I was destined to hate her from the beginning because I hate when writers will like make up a storyline that happened way before we met our characters that they obviously just came up with. Because I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Like you just pulled that out of your ass 2 episodes ago. You just made that up. I'm gonna say something so mean, but Valerie is the Alex Drake of the Vampire Diaries. Sorry, but like she knew about the transfer spell and just didn't tell Stefan because she knew that then he would go home to be with like Caroline. Grow up. I didn't even necessarily ship Stefan and Caroline. And yet when Valerie was around, I got like territorial on Caroline's behalf because I was like, leave them alone. It actually made me respect Stefan less, like liking Valerie twice, actually. I simply just don't accept that as canon. That was just the writers having an off week. Like when he was with Rebecca or Katherine or even Ivy, you know, I could respect that. Stefan likes a hot, powerful woman. So what was the excuse with Valerie?
We need to launch a full federal investigation into why and how this happened. Who allowed this?
I'm sorry, but the way people hate Matt Donovan, I hate Valerie Tull. It could be a little bit of internalized misogyny, but at the end of the day, what's a little bit of misogyny between friends, okay? Why don't you come on over, Valerie? More like, why don't you leave and never come back? I can't decide whether to put her in the prison world or hell. I'll just put you in the prison world. I'm feeling nice today, but you're on my list. You could be bumped down. Then we have Malcolm, I think. Malcolm, who even are you? I'm sorry, you can go to memory loss spell. I don't remember anything you did. And then we have Oscar. I spent the entire time trying to figure out what I recognize Oscar from, and I still haven't looked it up. So I guess I'll never know. Oscar was more fun than the others. I guess I'll give him a bourbon. Yeah, he can hang out with Nora and Beau. Oh, then we have Rose.
You don't have to do this.
I know who you are. I said be quiet.
What do you want?
I want you to be quiet.
I actually would mistakenly call her Alice the entire time she was on the show because of that haircut. I just thought, how could you give me a vampire with this exact same haircut and not expect me to call her Alice? She just had such a beautiful death, and I felt like that showed us a really nice side of Damon and taught us something about what vampires can do. I went to call her Alice again. Rose, you can have a bourbon. Okay, now we're up to the originals. So first up we have Klaus.
You've heard of me. Fantastic.
Absolutely, hands down, one of our most fun villains ever. And I think for the most part that is because he was truly unpredictable. Like some of these other villains that they tried out, I was like, your motive makes no sense, or I'm just not scared of you. Whereas Klaus, firstly, he came with so much fear because we'd heard about him for so long. But like the twists and the turns of what Klaus would do, I really appreciate it. And I mean also his dynamic when he was with Stefan.
Well, is keeping my victims' letters really so different from writing their names on a wall like you did?
I did have some help.
Just so fun. And I know every girl and gay out there is down for Klaus. And I get it. I was a sucker for a British accent once too. The thing is, I could just never be with a man that wears a necklace, especially necklaces like that. It just would not. It's not going to happen. And unfortunately for Klaus, or for me, he also killed two of my favorite characters, being Jenna and Carol Lockwood. So I do struggle to get past that. And I'm so sorry. Again, this is so mean, but his horse drawings made me laugh. I feel like they were trying to do this thing where they were like, but look, he has this like sensitive side. But I'm like, he's a horse girl. What do you mean? I will say Klaus had, I think, the most romantic line in like TV history.
He's your first love. I intend to be your last.
This man has one of the most disgusting personalities I've ever encountered. He's rude, he's narcissistic, he can't read. Would I like to hang out with him? No. Would I sleep with him? Yeah.
I found the Michelson drama sometimes like a little bit over the top. I was like, you guys, you're family. Like either love each other and hang out or just go your separate ways, you know? So much bickering. But I have just watched either the backdoor pilot or the first episode of the originals, whatever it is that shows them in New Orleans. And seeing him have this kind of power struggle and have to play double agent, like I found him already so much more enticing and likable. So I think that'll be exciting for me to see like on the originals if I go and watch that, this different side of him that maybe needs to get his power back. So I wonder if I prefer the dynamic of Klaus when he's actually not a villain. Maybe I'm just rooting for him more then. Also, I loved when Matthew Davis played Klaus in Alaric's body. That was very fun. Klaus, I feel like I have no choice but to put you in epic. Like, there is no other word. Again, he's obviously not going in God tier with my beautiful 4 women. He killed Carol and Jenna. Oh, I've put him in a tier with Jenna. So sorry, girl. Okay, then we have Elijah.
You're making a great mistake if you think that you can beat me. You can't.
One of the only men on this show to not actively hit on teens. So thank you, Elijah, a man of honor. And I loved Elijah's haircut because it was so 90s boy band, which is great. But on a man who was like such an old soul, it felt very funny. Like this man is believably thousands of years old, right? Yet he's giving Devon Sawa or like Sean from Boy Meets World. I feel like this might be controversial, but I actually like him more than I like Klaus. I might be an Elijah girly. Not for me, but just like in general. So he's going in epic, but in front of Klaus. Oh, then we have Rebecca.
You left the only person on earth that actually likes you? Well, your boyfriend liked me once.
A bitchy teen girl will just always eat with me. Like if Katherine is a villain, I see Rebecca as more of an anti-hero. Like she never quite had me gagged in the same way that Katherine did, where Katherine was just so all-powerful, only cared about herself and her survival. Rebecca had some more like human tendencies. She had some insecurities. She had, you know, the desire to be human. Rebecca really wanted to be liked and loved, and that to me is a very human emotion.
I want stupid koala corsages and a prom. I want to have kids with someone who loves me enough to stand outside my window with a stupid boombox. I want to be human.
Well, I envy you. You have a choice. I didn't. There were things I still wanted. To be married with a nice house and a husband to kiss me when he came home. A family of my own.
I think for Rebecca, I wanted her to either go full dark mode or have a redemption arc similar to Caroline and like see her kind of assimilate with the group and actually be their friend, because she's very similar to Klaus in this way. Like deep down, all they want is to be loved and like accepted and have friends and a family that won't leave them. Yet they have this hard shell exterior, and I'm like, I either want you to pull up even more of a wall and like destroy your life, or break that wall down, get vulnerable with it, and have some growth. Again, I have no idea what happens on the originals, if she's even in it. I assume she is, but I'm hoping that somehow her heart softens and she gets her happy ending. My favorite Rebecca moment is when she's like trying out prom dresses by using girls as human mannequins. I will put Rebecca with her brothers in Epic. I love her. Then we have Cole Michelson, a little bit of a menace to society, I will say. So funny that he was like Jeremy's friend from Denver. I will say one of the things Cole has going for him, he was the only person accurately worried about raising Silas. Everyone else was just like thinking about the cure, and Cole was like, I don't think you want to do this. It was very, very dumb for Elena and Jeremy to invite him in, but he did get a pretty fantastic death. For the time that he tried to chop Jeremy's arms off, I might have to put you in a prison world, Cole, but maybe the originals will make me like you more. And then we have Finn, I think. Finn, I wish I remembered a single thing about you. I really do. Is he a middle child? Is that why he's so overlooked? Oh, was it Finn that agreed to like link all of them so that they would die? Real mummy's boy energy, but I did want them all to die at that point. They were our villains, so I kind of sided with him there. That said, don't remember a single thing else about you, so I fear you must go to memory loss spell. So sorry, Finn. Then we have Haley.
I can't believe that I won. I just want to thank the judges for seeing past the fact that I'm a raging bitch.
Haley, I feel like I didn't get to know that well. Kind of wrote a little bit like not like other girls. Like that was just inherently like a werewolf trait. I remember two things about Haley. One, she was kind of trying to come between Tyler and Caroline.
Well, the least you could do is pour me some fancy rich people scotch.
But two, she had some pretty cute like bohemian outfits, I feel. Unfortunately, I did find it so hard to listen to her and take her seriously because the accent, oh.
You have your 12 hybrids. No, where are my parents? I needed a place to crash. Ty's a buddy who was kind enough to offer.
Poor Phoebe Tonkin. I feel like our other H2O mermaid, Claire Holt, had it easier because a British accent is a lot closer to our Australian accent, whereas this accent did make it hard for me. I'm putting Haley in memory loss spell because to me, she was supposed to give and she did not give. I wanted her to be Slayly, but as of yet, she has not slayed. And then we have Enzo. Speaking of accents, to me, like 90% of Enzo's character is him being British, right? Like just him saying British things, having British mannerisms. Imagine my surprise when I found out this actor is not even British.
I would rather own a real working lightsaber because it'd be a little more convenient to take out to the bars with you.
Again, like Jeremy's death, as soon as Bonnie and Enzo were happy, I was like, this is so sad because obviously Enzo was about to die. And soon enough, there came Stefan Salvatore. I feel so bad for Bonnie having to go to Stefan's wedding, like right after that. I don't think I could have done that. Enzo, honestly, you've had a hard time, a really hard time. You deserve a bourbon. Congrats. Then we have Peter Maxwell. So what are you doing down here? You should be with your family. Dare I say Peter Maxwell is low-key better than all of the other Mystic Falls dads because while yes, he abandoned his wife and children, that seems like the better alternative to sticking around and abusing them like these four did. Peter, I will put you in the prison world, but you won't be going to hell. So once again, I also just think that casting of Matt and his dad, I'll put them side by side, is just so good. Oh, then we have Alaric.
You're a dick.
I actually loved Alaric, especially in the first few seasons. Like a fun, tortured, alcoholic history teacher who only teaches the class things that directly relate to our protagonists that very week. Iconic. I also thought he was a great like parental figure for Elena and Jeremy. I love how he kind of took them under his wing after Jenna died.
Oh my God.
Jeremy!
Jeremy, move!
Unfortunate for Alaric, I feel like everyone Alaric was related to died or left. And to be fair, I was very cautious of him at the start because obviously it is Warner Huntington III.
If I'm gonna be a senator by the time I'm 30, I need to stop dicking around. Pooh Bear.
But he won me over very quickly. However, this man was married to Elena's mum to then turn around and date Elena's best friend, the same age as her. You know what? Not even the same age as her because Caroline turned first. So Caroline is like perpetually 17. If we're using like the logic of vampire age, but we're saying Elena and Stefan could be together because while he was like 171, he was like technically 17. That means Caroline was too. So Alaric, who I'm assuming was like 35, once again, I must say, get a job, stay away from her.
You can stay as long as you want.
Why don't you mind your own business, you old fuck?
It's giving Ezra Fitz. I wanted to put you in epic, but unfortunately because of that, I'm only gonna be able to give you a bourbon, which I know you would love. Oh, then we have Jo. God bless. I really liked her for Alaric. I thought she really held her own well. Very sad about her family. And I love that she was like an iconic 90s film star. I loved her in She's All That. I guess I'll put her in Have a Bourbon. You can be with Rick. And then we have Kai Parker.
Water literally started pooling in my eyes. Has that ever happened to you? Like water just oozing out of my eyeballs like I'm some alien creature excreting fluids.
I'm leaking salt water.
You mean you cried?
Let me say, it is a good thing I made my video ranking my fictional crushes because I kind of got out of that with no like real embarrassing picks. I'm not proud of this one, but young Tom Riddle. Call me Ginny Weasley because I would let this man take my soul and overpower me. Tom Riddle could still get it. Kai would be very high on that list. He is just so funny, so silly goofy.
Hi, sleepyhead, remember me?
Originally, he was such a terrifying, fearful villain who I truly wanted us to like kill and get rid of. And then somehow, slowly but surely, he won my heart. I could sit here and judge people for having their toxic crushes on someone like Klaus, a murderer, but here I am, no better, with my crush on Kai Parker. Yes, he is a sociopath, but I could fix him.
Selfie City.
Yeah, there it is.
Knocking on heaven's door.
Of course, my favorite memory is when I finally beat him to death.
The fact that when he returned, I audibly squealed with joy.
Did it sound like she missed me?
That's embarrassing. The fact that I could sit here and judge people for having an unhealthy or toxic crush on someone like Klaus, you know, these toxic men, and then all of a sudden, a psychopath Gemini Siphon comes along and I have no leg to stand on. I am falling very, very far from my high horse. I honestly think I may just have a crush on Chris Wood. He is truly my exact type. Looks kind of like Skylar Astin from Pitch Perfect, is married to someone from Glee. This checks out. I also feel bad for admitting this, but I really shipped him with Bonnie.
I grew up with a ton of little sisters and brothers. It taught me how to focus. I'll go with you, bro.
And that's bad. I don't normally have toxic ships. Obviously, he was like her captor, essentially, and yet the chemistry was there.
You could have just shown us the ascendant to begin with.
Yeah, but I wanted to feel your hand on my chest.
I need to know if I'm alone in thinking that. Anyway, we're planning a June wedding. I wish this weren't true, but Kai Parker is god tier. Okay, then we have his sister Liv.
Do I look like Rapunzel?
Well.
Not a newbie witch, FYI.
She was there, I guess, and she was giving BPE, big Peyton energy, but somehow a little bit more annoying. And like, I say that as a Peyton apologist. I just found the Gemini coven so interesting. I'm very fascinated by cults. And as far as cults go, this is a pretty bad one to be in because no matter how good your life is, ultimately your sibling or you will die. And if they die, you'll be the reason for it. And you just have to live with that. I guess I really can't blame her for being like emo and moody. I would be too. Also, letting your boyfriend smother you to death so that he can turn into a werewolf, pretty baller move. I had to applaud her there. That was pretty iconic. Liv, you pissed me off, but I liked you by the end. You can have a bourbon. Be with your sister. And then we have Luke.
I'm gay and your brother.
Honestly, I was so excited when we found out that Luke had merged with Kai because obviously they say like your two souls become one, and Kai took on Luke's empathy. And I was like, okay, character redemption moment. We're gonna see that journey. And then that kind of didn't happen at all. Like it just sort of happened for a little bit and he grappled with it and then it went away totally. If someone merged with me, they would just get dairy intolerance and anxiety. I wish they had leaned into him absorbing Luke's gayness as well. Like what if Kai came out of the merge and suddenly had feelings for Luke's hot doctor boyfriend? That would have been so fantastic to explore. Luke, I preferred you to your sister, so you can go between Jo and Liv. Finally, we have Miss Lexi Branson. From the moment we met this girl, I loved her. I loved her so much.
Every person that passes through takes you one step closer to death. What kind of a best friend would I be if you died before Stefan got his brother back?
I think I talked about this in my first Vampire Diaries video, but I just loved her and Stefan having like a platonic male-female friendship, and I feel like that's a very positive example to set in like a teen show.
That was beautiful.
It's feeling epic.
And I think Caroline was a great kind of similar version to Lexi that was a romantic option for him. Although, again, I think Caroline and Stefan are better as friends, but that's for another day. Sorry, me popping in here. I think the main reason I don't really ship Steroline is because I just want her to have her own love that isn't an Elena leftover. Both Matt and Stefan were like long-term relationships of Elena's. For Caroline to then like date them afterwards, I don't know, I just think our girl deserves better. So Klaus seems like the best option for her. Obviously, the best couples are the ones that like never really truly happen because you never had time for it to get boring or to fight. So I wonder if we had truly got Claraline, and again, I don't know if she's in the originals or if we see anything over there. I hope so. But yeah, if they had like got together and dated, I wonder if it would have like, you know, steered them off a cliff. People would have been like, this is really toxic or this got boring. It's the fact that they were a maybe. It's the potential that we love. I wonder why the writers didn't explore that more. I guess it's because he got his own show, so he had to leave. That is so sad. What wasted potential. I truly don't even know what it is. There is just something about Lexi being such a fun, beautiful, caring friend, an iconic woman that I adore. And you know what? I'm actually gonna put Lexi in God tier. Sorry, probably gonna sit there and say, well, you can't put Lexi higher than Stefan and Damon. And you know what? I can, because Lexi wasn't around long enough to ever piss me off. She never did anything wrong. I love her. And here we have it, guys. This is my finished tier. Feel free to let me know in the comments how you would place things. I'm gonna grab a quick drink and then we can come back and talk about Stefan versus Damon. Okay, so I'm terrified to say this because I feel like it is overwhelmingly not what fans think, but I guess I'll say this. I was expecting there to be more of a love triangle, like more of a back and forth between Stefan and Damon, whereas it was kind of just Stefan for like the first 2 to 3 seasons, and then we were kind of on the Damon train till the rest of the show. Maybe coming from other shows, I expected that, or maybe just from like what I had seen, I thought there'd be more of a back and forth. So ultimately, I guess I was kind of bummed that Elena never had like a second go back to Stefan, especially maybe after she'd been a vampire. That could have been an interesting dynamic. And you know what? Some of this might be projecting because I think I personally would choose Stefan. Their whole main difference is about like respecting someone's choices. And when it comes down to it, call me old-fashioned, but I do think I would want that in a partner, someone who respected my choices rather than forcing those choices to be made for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Elena and Damon have phenomenal chemistry, like some of the best on the show. It's why so many people loved them. You know, the motel kiss, maybe the best TV kiss ever. Even the college party dance. Congrats, Calvin Harris, for this iconic moment. However, I do just have qualms about how they would work long term. And I think that's why we don't really see it. It's very easy to say they took the cure, they lived a very happy long life, they had kids, and then died of old age. But realistically, I don't think that would happen. I don't think Damon Salvatore would take the cure and then be happy for the rest of his life with no compulsion, a lower alcohol tolerance, having to work, pay taxes, raise kids.
I don't care about some lame ass cure for vampires either.
How can you say that right now?
Because I don't want you to be cured. You know, I used to miss being human. Now I can't think of anything more miserable on earth.
You made her choice for her. There's no harm in that. As long as you're happy, she never needs to know.
Is this?
The cure to vampirism. I left it out for you to find. Damon was never going to offer it to you.
It's very romantic, the notion that he would give up the life that he loved, being a vampire bachelor, for Elena, but I actually don't think he would have been happy in the end. I think he would have ended up resenting her, and I don't know if it would have worked out.
You're drunk.
The one that wanted me to own a bar.
I wanted you to own it, Damon, not pass out on it every night.
Well, that bar's a lot more affectionate than you.
I'm working my butt off to build a career.
Well, I'm drinking my butt off, building mine.
I can't do what I want to do. Because what I want to do is drink all night without getting drunk. Drive my car like a psycho without fear of death. I want to tear someone's head off.
You can't do any of those things anymore.
Because of you. This was a damn mistake.
I know canonically they say it did, sure, but like the fact that we don't see it, I think is because it would not have worked out. To me, I was really surprised that Stefan isn't the one that took the cure, because I feel like he's the one that would have been an amazing dad, probably would have wanted that more.
Could have been a father. Yeah, I know it was 150 years ago, Damon, and it's stupid how much it affects me. But it still does. I think my only regret would be not having a kid.
I mean, I'm still obviously mourning Stefan's death, like everyone probably is. I feel bad for Caroline, honestly. I feel bad for everyone, but Caroline kind of has it the worst. And I will say, I think watching this show for the first time as an adult, I probably perceive it a lot different compared to if I watched it like growing up as a kid. I mean, let's be honest, as a kid, I shipped Arya and Ezra, whereas now, you know, I have a frontal lobe. Don't get me wrong, I think Elena made Damon a better person. Do I think he made Elena a better person? Not really.
Why am I acting like this? Because you listen to Damon and Damon makes everything he wants sound like a good idea. You were supposed to help her.
We enjoy the hunt, the feed, and the kill. And when the guilt gets too bad, we switch off our humanity and we revel in it.
Is that what you want? Her to be like you?
She already is like me.
I think he definitely changed her and challenged her, but I think it made her a worse person. Feels so controversial to be saying on here, honestly. But yeah, just things like forcing his blood on her when he knew she didn't want to be a vampire.
It's my life, Damon. My choice.
Damon, no! Damon, no!
That is a very selfish decision. So the fact that he said like, I can't be selfish with you, that's a nice notion, but he definitely was selfish with her many times.
I also feel confused by that because isn't the thing that he holds over Stefan their entire lifetime? You know, I'm gonna promise you a lifetime of misery because you forced me to become a vampire. Like, but he literally does that to Elena, Vicky, multiple people.
She'll come back a vampire.
It's better than nothing else.
How could you of all people take that choice away from her?
Obviously the whole killing Jeremy thing when she said no to him. And didn't he also sleep with Elena's mum? Just personally, I don't think I could be with someone that slept with my mum. I think they were an iconic couple. I definitely liked seeing them together and I think they should have been together, but I don't think they should have been endgame. This is wild for me to say. Not to get too much on Damon's back, they both men have their flaws, but it did bother me how much he constantly pressured Stefan to drink human blood and was like, just have a little bit, just have a little bit. Obviously within the show, we use being a ripper as a metaphor for like alcoholism. And you would never say to a loved one that was an alcoholic, just have a little bit of alcohol. Don't be a baby about it, just have some, you'll be fine. That just showed such lack of concern to me. I also, again, I know I've talked about this in my previous Vampire Diaries video, the fact that he was like sexually abusing Caroline essentially in the first season.
Damon, if you remember, was compelling and seducing and effectively like raping 17-year-old Caroline. I mean, that's some dark shit.
And Caroline did not bring that up, and I know that's because the writers wanted Damon to be redeemable, but I feel like if I were Caroline, I could not be friends with Elena if she would then date and like go on and live happily ever after with the guy that did that to me.
Oh my god, Caroline, what happened?
Nothing, okay?
That is not nothing. Did somebody hurt you?
No, okay, nothing.
So what exactly was it about him that made you jump right into bed with him as soon as you met him?
Please, don't. No! Get away from me!
He's always been there for me when I needed him.
Yeah, because he's hoping you'll sleep with him.
Well, maybe I did.
Oh, that sounded really bratty.
And again, don't get me wrong, I think he's an amazing character, obviously one of my favorites, but I think he should have kept living the life that he loved. I just feel like his character, I don't know, there was some growth and then it kind of felt like it was undone once Elena was in her big sleep. Ultimately, I would just love to hear what a therapist would have to say about both of these men and like the Katherine Elena of it all.
You have some serious emotional damage.
No, it's not what you think. Okay, yes, the resemblance is what drew me in, but that's it.
I wonder if they would have both fallen in love with Elena the same way had she not looked anything like Katherine. Food for thought. At the end of the day, I simply don't think I could end up with a man who had slept with my mum. That is just too weird.
Your daughter is so adorable.
Yeah. I totally forgot he also killed Uncle Zach, who I loved. R.I.P. Zach, gone too soon. But yes, ultimately, I love both of these men. I'm happy for you, Damon girlies. It is just not personally what I would choose. I love him as a character. I love him as a fun, funny, comedic relief in the show. I just don't know if he's like marriage material, you know? I think long term, I would feel both emotionally and physically safer with Stefan. Also, quick side note, the scene in the later years with Stefan and Elena in the diner where he like fake proposes and they're just like being silly goofy.
Elena Williams.
Stefan Cooper, what are you doing?
Will you?
Wait, you're not just proposing to me because I'm pregnant, are you?
No. Sweetheart, this baby is the best thing that ever happened to us.
Will you marry me?
Yes!
was just so good. And I was just like, I want more of this. I want to see them give it a go again, even if they, you know, decide it doesn't work out and they're like wrong for each other. I would have loved to have seen them give it another go. I feel like you guys wouldn't be surprised that I'm a Stefan girly. I do feel like usually I will pick the more sensible choice. Maybe that's boring, I don't know. More for you Damon girlies out there. Well, this is officially the most vulnerable, terrifying thing that I will ever post on the internet. I love both of these boys equally. That's just personally who I would pick for me, and probably for Elena. And that is okay if we disagree. Well, this has been so incredibly fun. I can't wait to talk to you guys in the comments. Don't forget to check out Surfshark below. Give this video a like if you did like it, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Is this what it feels like?